just because she said she hoped you'd call again? Dude! You said you didn't care either way? Dude! She said she cared enough for both of you? Dude! You can find a breathing in that very
I used to have 4 words in my vocabulary. Dude, totally. No, I only had 3.
Fuck!
Fuck! All right, Jim L is next.
All right.
That's you?
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay, so if I come over and do that, yeah. Sorry. So for this first number, nah, just kidding. No, I'm doing comedy. But I write my jokes on my hand so I don't get to bring my beer up here, so I usually feel like Linus without his blanket. He said something, Lenny said something that was so clever. He said, I'm all right, you're all right. My dad used to always have the pet rock neurosis. That was his deal, was we can make $1 million if we just find the right rock. I'm okay, you're okay, my dad said. Forget about that. I'm fucked up, you're fucked up. And that's okay. That was his joke. So I write my jokes on my hands because I've not been practicing very well in between. So I'm fucked up, and that's okay. This is my first time recording on this, so if I have to step off the mic, I'll be right back. Right? It only has like a 5-minute wait period, so I'm trying to keep that one down. But speaking of Linus, when I came up without my beer and I feel stupid, like naked, I started thinking about kids. She's fertile, man. Be careful. She gets to her 30s, it's on at that point. It's like, we gotta have a baby. It's like, really? I'm ovulating. I called you at 5. I told you my temperature was going up. And it goes from making love to making work. We're done. We're done. We get on. You know, actually, the best joke that I wrote about that, I was going through my stuff and it made me laugh at my own stupid joke, was when my wife was trying to get pregnant and we were ovulating, she'd say, put on the ranchero music, put on the ranchero music, hurry, I'm ovulating. And I'm like, well, there's nothing that's going to get you more on the moon than that. So she finally got pregnant, and you go through this whole process. As you get pregnant, you go to these prenatal care classes, and they end up saying, well, is she having any strange cravings? Is it, well, you know, Frosties? No, but I mean, like, is she eating paint chips because she needs calcium, or is she eating dirt? Hey, and I go, wait, what about shoes? I've caught her chewing on my shoe 3 times. This is the 3rd pair. She's like a bulimic. She chews up my shoes. She comes home with a new pair of shoes. Every time I put on a new pair of shoes, I'm like, are you serious? You chewed up another pair of my shoes. So when the doctor said that, I'm like, so what am I supposed to do when she's chewing on my shoes? Should I hit her with it? Should I rub her nose in it? Doctor says, no, treat her with love and comfort. So the next time I got home from work and she was chewing on one of my shoes, I said, nah, fuck that quack. I'm taking her to the vet. Bang! And let's see, what else do I have written on my hand? And so when my kid was finally born, it took about I don't know, a week for me to try to figure out whether I was going to name him this or name him that. There was Chuck, there was Bob, there was Matt. And then I go, how about Sid's? I mean, Sid. Dad can hope, right? Sorry, didn't mean to say Sid's. Ooh, jeez. Making kids race to the vet, getting old. Okay, so at this point in my parenthood, I've got a 20-year-old daughter, and if anybody's looking for an arranged marriage, I just need a couple llamas. She's going to Metro. Your problem about the weed prescription and all that shit for... Hey, how about that one? So my daughter actually got her prescription for medical marijuana for menstrual cramps. She actually got really bad cramps one day after she got her license. The doctor recommended, hey, take the herbal. you don't want to, I don't want to encourage you to smoke weed. She goes, oh no, that's the only thing that helps. So when she finally got cramps that made her feel uncomfortable enough to smoke a lot more weed, it just made them worse. That's the classic, is remember what you go and get your prescription for, and don't lie, because it just may come back to haunt you. So, I don't know who else has a 20-year-old daughter in this place, but that is the hardest position to be in. It's not so much that she's getting older, it's that she's a constant bookmark in my life that says, you are getting old. And then I look in the mirror, I get white hairs growing out of my ears. I never had that before. I go to the barber says, so what are you about, 40? And I go, yeah, nobody ever guesses how old I am. She goes, here, don't lie. Freaking coming out, I'm braiding this thing. And then I realized, what is going on? I don't have gray hair anywhere else, so baby hair's growing out. And then I get a white hair right here. And then I notice that I used to have a forehead here, or are these things migrating down to my eyebrows? Notice I just went to the barber, got my eyebrows cleaned up. But these frickin' things come out like branches. What else is there? Oh, that just starts it all over again where I go, oh, now I'm uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. You turn 40, what do you got to go to the doctor for? Little loving. My doctor put some aroma candles around the room and snap that glove off. Snap. And he goes, this will only be uncomfortable for a minute. And I go, a minute? Seriously? He goes, I got to check your prostate. So the last place in the world that you ever want a happy ending at is your proctologist. He stuck that finger in there and he found that nerve and they twisted. And I go, ah! And now I'm feeling a little uncomfortable because I just shot my wad. He goes, hey, well, we might as well check that too. Winked at me. I'm like, you're going to wink at me? Seriously? Do I owe you a tip? Is this extra? Because I think of the massage therapist. And, you get your massage on and she's never, ever going to ask you for a happy ending. No. But he will. The last person I want to go after me on a happy ending after the massage is this dude. So they got towels. I got to put my clothes back on. I'm pretty quick. Boom. In, out. Like I said, I'm married. Suicidal, depressed, but happily married. I think. Prostate, happy prostate. Oh, no. There's nothing else there. So I'll just wrap this up. I might come back up later if everybody leaves, and then I won't feel so nervous. But I started talking about my wife. She had a couple kids, 3 kids, maybe mine. I think a couple are mine. But when it's all said and done, now it's time for her to continue her education. And the whole time we've been married, I've been looking at her and saying, you never follow through on anything. You never finish anything. And she decides, I'm going to go back to school. And I go, okay, get your classes, whatever it is. 6 weeks later, I get a bill for the School of Pole Dancing. And I said, honey, what are you doing? She goes, it's the new craze. And I said, well, really, what are you doing? And she goes, I don't know, I dropped out. Who drops out of pole dancing? Right? Come on, lady. But I understood a little bit because, I'm 40 years old. I feel pretty fit. I'm looking pretty good. But when it all comes... I just brought my wife in here this week, and she's over there, and I'm like, oh, you can't listen. This is a horrible thing to say. So now that the waitress is gone. So everybody, we're a smart crowd, right? Dorian Gray. Portrait of Dorian Gray. He has the portrait of himself when he was young, up in the attic. No. I'm Dorian Gray, and the truth of that story is I look great. My wife's gone straight to hell. So I'm going to end on that. Since she's not here, and before that chick comes back, and I got to be in here with my wife when brunch is on next Sunday. Hurry! So that's it, Jim. Good to meet you guys.